Hey, hola, boa noite. Carl Munson here with the Portugal Show. Carl Munson of expatsportugal.com. Great pleasure for me tonight to be talking to none other than Prosecco Peggy, who's already, I think, been sipping the Prosecco in the green room. Sadly, I wasn't able to supply that or any canapes, but here she is, everybody. Peggy Littrell from the Algarve in Portugal tonight. Hello, Peggy. How are you?
Hi, Carl. I'm great. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good actually. I said to you rather unceremoniously there, give us a minute. We've got to put the minute screen on, give everybody a chance to come in and settle down. I discover, I know that was very ungentlemanly. I'll see if I can make it up to you in the next hour or so and improve my behavior. But I'm finding out all the things I can do in a minute whilst that screen happens. And one of them tonight is to be joining you with a little brew here, all for research purposes, of course, an Alvarinho Vinho Verde. So you're on the fizzy, the Prosecco style, aren't you? And I'm drinking a Portuguese fizz tonight, so we can compare notes on those two. So great to have you here, a real character among all the wonderful characters at expatsportugal.com.
Now you can put a face to all those answers on the forum.
You got fans. Look, yeah, Peggy.
Hey, Marty.
RTP. Ree's here tonight. Evening, Mr. M. Rezinho in the house. Hello, Ree. Yes, we gave you that Portuguese name, didn't we? Portuguese names given out freely on this show, and
names given out freely.
Absolutely. Have you taken on a Portuguese name, Peggy, since you've been here?
Prosecco Peggy.
Of course, obviously. It's not been much of a challenge to rise to, I don't think.
No.
So, hi, Peggy.
Go right into it.
Sapphira, he's here again. What a good man in Porto. And
actually, when you said this morning something Littrell.
Lockdown Littrell. It sounds a bit sort of gangsterish, doesn't it? Lockdown Littrell. But it's quite good as well, I think. Sapphira's here.
Prosecco Peggy.
Okay, we'll go with Prosecco Peggy. Sapphira's up in Porto tonight, and sometime during the show tonight, I think we'll have a little bit of contrast because National Geographic have announced Best of the World, the 8 unmissable cultural experiences for 2021 and beyond, sort of keeping our hope alive with that headline, aren't they? Experiences for 2021 and beyond. And of course, Portugal makes it. But where in Portugal makes it, we'll come back to that at some point in the show. A few others saying good evening to you. Hola, boa noite, everyone from Eric J. Hi, Eric. Great to hear from you.
Hi, Eric.
Howdy, Sapphira. Oh, lovely. People are saying hi to each other in the community as well. Pour me some, says Laura. I need a drink. And Ken Barnett sneaks in and pulls up a chair. Good evening to you, Ken. How are you and how are your plans going for coming to Portugal? So the idea here with these expats chats is to see, well, the backstory, really, to hear the backstory from people who wanted to come here, have ended up here, and all the processes they've been through, the ups and the downs, not sugar-coated, not, sort of pure Pollyanna. We obviously, there's a lot of upsides, but there may be some downsides too, and we'll talk about those. So, yes, popular Prosecco Peggy is here to talk about your journey here. When did it begin, Peggy? Fill us in a little bit, if you will.
Well, we bought a holiday home here in 2017. It was a townhouse, and we wanted to see if this was the right place for us here in the Algarve. And we were coming whenever my husband was off work for a week or 2 weeks at a time. And I decided to stay one day and send him home to keep working and support me in a life I was quickly becoming accustomed to.
Marvelous.
So I got my residency first, and then he retired last year, and he followed along and got his residency. We bought a bigger house because we expected company the entire year from May through December. And we've had nobody, not a soul has knocked on the door.
No, of course. So they've not been allowed to, have they?
I know, it's terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
So perhaps that's a bit of a downside, the spanner in the works, the spanademic that came in the works this year. It sounds like it hasn't sort of been too much of a problem for you. I mean, what's been your experience of that this year?
Well, we decided to use the time wisely and do some updating of the house. So we put new floors in. It looks like wood, but it's really tile. And it's big, long planks of old looking wood because we have a traditional Portuguese house. And we gutted the kitchen and put in a lot of traditional looking things, traditional tiles on the wall, which I showed you one time. I guess
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
You
I think I
did.
promised to show them to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, along with my Prosecco sitting there with it.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I felt very at home for a moment.
You knew right where you were, and I wasn't even in the picture.
For sure, for sure. The hospitality that can be anticipated, perhaps, when the lockdown.
We have had a wonderful experience learning all about dealing with Portuguese workmen and mañana. It could be tomorrow. It could be 2 days. It could be 3 days. It could be next week.
Yeah. Just chill, take it easy. Have you coped well with that? I imagine other people will ask questions about your remodeling process of your kitchen, for example, and how to engage and deal with local tradespeople. But I think it's a real contrast, isn't it, to come from North America, which is very much a service-based culture, isn't it? And then to ate amanya, see you tomorrow kind of culture. How have you dealt and coped with that, or have you?
Well, I sort of got used to it waiting for workmen at the townhouse. So I knew how it was.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was very frustrating because you didn't know if they were coming or not coming. And you'd sit there all day and not go do your grocery shopping or whatever because you were waiting for the tile man who didn't come for 3 days. But so that can be very frustrating. But we've decided that the Portuguese people just don't die of heart attacks because they're never in a hurry. They're going to get there when they get there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good way of looking at it, because I guess in some ways you'd have cause for much frustration. But did you have a sort of epiphany, eureka moment where you thought, yes, hold on a minute. Yeah, they don't struggle with this stuff. And I don't think I want to either. Was it a moment, or has it been a gradual process there?
Well, it's gradual because sometimes you really would like them to come and you really don't know when they're coming.
Yeah.
So, after 3 days and you're really running out of Prosecco, you really got to get to the grocery store, okay?
The tension is building after 3 days.
Tension is building.
You know what, though? They might be thinking to themselves or talking among each other, the tradespeople, and saying, well, normally we'd go back in a week, but, she's American and everything, so we better get back there in 3 days, otherwise she'll be going crazy. So you might be actually getting the fast service and not even knowing it.
I must, but we have met some fantastic people, some fantastic workers, great hard workers here in Portugal. They really are. Yeah. And once they get on the job, they can work really well and really hard and be great people.
Cool. So the ultimate, the end result is worth the wait.
That's absolutely. Cool. We've made a lot of friends in the service industry here.
Yeah.
Partially because I feed them, but that's another story.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because there are ways, aren't there, of dealing with tradespeople that make the process easier and make it more likely to come back to your house more quickly and more regularly. Let's wait for a moment before we get your tactics on that and see what people are asking already. Marty P. Carl, I went to a wine store here in Alaska the other day and looked for a DAO, but no luck. Oh, that's a shame. I've just got into the DAO, and I think I was saying this morning, I feel a little bit disloyal to my native Barada region here. I'm really loving these DAO wines. I read that I'm going to be trying with my colleagues in the wine club next Thursday. Yet another reason I must get to Portugal ASAP, continues Marty. Enjoy your vinho, my friend. I will do my best. I'm in great company tonight. I'm not drinking alone, all sad and alone in front of the camera. I've got Prosecco Peggy with me, so all is well. Enjoy that wine, Secret Garden. Sounds like it's tasteful. From New England. Love Portuguese Prosecco, also known as Pops. Welcome to the show, Peggy, from Sintra over there. I think
Sintra. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I forget now. Sintra, are you in Sintra? Are you from Sintra? Are you from New England and now in Sintra? Let us know the backstory there, and forgive me if I've asked you that before. Hey, Peggy! Florida in the house tonight. Peter Bleach is here. Boa noite, Carl, Peggy, Sapphira, and Marty. All pals here. It's fantastic. Hi, Peter. Boa noite from Marty P. Fantastic. Where in the Algarve do you live? We'll come back to that as well. Thanks for that question, Barb. Fortunately, they kept the hardware stores open here. Did you know they shut them in South Africa? How bizarre. It was the perfect time to work on the home. Absolutely. Yes, I have been to my hardware shop just recently. I took someone with me and they said it was like that Two Ronnies sketch. I don't know if you've seen it, the Four Candles sketch, possibly famous around the world now. If not, I'll post that up somewhere. Safiro saying hello to his fans as well. We do die from heart attacks. Besides old age, it's one of the reasons of death in elderly people. So yes, just I think that was somewhat meant in jest, but I imagine it's not as quite as intense as in North America or my native UK, I'm suspecting there, Safaro. Since the Algarve is a spending time cooling down region, okay, yeah. What is typical of home construction? Should one worry that their home or flat gets very hot, making it difficult to sleep in the evening? Another great question to come back to. Colleen, this is funny because I live in Newfoundland, Canada, and have the same experience with work getting done when the workers are ready. When the workers are ready. Okay, so yeah, all over the world, I think this can occur, can't it? Gemini saying that's not a bad wine. Good to know. Secret Garden tonight, and Ken knows all about Four Candles, which he might post a link for a bit of British humour, some classic British humour actually. So we have a couple of questions for you from the Algarve. Which bit? Where in the Algarve do you live, Peggy?
We live in Pera, which is just north of Amasea de Pera. It's south of the 125, between Val de Pera and Guia on the eastern side, and Amasea de Pera and Portia's on the other side.
Okay.
So Pera is a very small little place, but we're in the Silge district. Whatever they call it, the parish, so that we can go to Silge where the castle is. If you find Silge, you can trace your little finger down to the ocean, and we're about 1 kilometer from the ocean. We're just above the bird estuary. So,
oh, lovely.
Yeah, I can walk and ride my bike and exercise. Oh,
you're making it sound so wonderful. I'm putting the Wikipedia link into the comments. And actually what I'll do is I'll bring it up on screen quickly now for us, Peggy, as well, so that we can see where we're talking about in terms of the geography. Usually a little map here. Yeah, there you go. Over there on the right of the screen towards the bottom there. So pretty much in the middle of the Algarve, right? Slightly west.
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay. And that little, there's the little finger you're talking about. There's a little sort of route down, isn't there, from the southern part of your municipality to the beach there.
Yes, there is.
Oh, that's why is that? You've got two little municipalities either side. Interesting.
We do. We're just a little bit of a finger hanging down. That's in Silge, the cathedral. There's castle, which is not really a castle in there anymore. There's just faking you out. It's the wall.
Okay. A Hollywood castle then.
They're excavating the castle on the inside, but the walls are intact. It's very lovely view from up there, though.
And one of your beaches there, that looks horrible, doesn't it? What a terrible place. Terrible place.
Awful.
And then if you back up from the beach, presumably, or from the town at the castle as well. Oh, it looks lovely. That's on a cloudy day. Still looks fantastic. And then your little lanes there. Is that a typical sort of street?
Typical. That little umbrella you see there is one of the places we love to go and eat.
Oh,
it's great little place. We eat there a lot.
Well, tell us more. What's on the menu there? What typically might you eat for lunch, and what might it cost you, if you don't mind me asking?
They always have a prato do dia, and you can have a full plate, which will serve 4 to 6 people, or you can have a half plate, which serves a normal person. Oh, my computer's flying off into my lap here. Sorry.
No worries.
But they also have pizzas. They have a fish dish, a meat dish every day. Always fresh squeezed orange juice, because we are the orange juice capital down here.
Yeah.
That and chicken, good old Frango.
Good old Frango. And we've had Florida mentioned tonight, haven't we? And I've drunk. I guess Florida's seen as the orange juice capital of the States, isn't it? But yes. Do you find that the orange juice is even sweeter here in Portugal than you remember from America?
Very much so.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
sweeter, and it's so easy to squeeze it every day and just have fresh juice every day. I love it.
Yeah.
And the roadside stands here are every 10 feet. You just trip over them if you.
Oh, terrific, terrific. Okay, so there's the Praça do Municipio as well in Silves. So you've got some nice water features, and if you look up, it's not completely flat, is it? You've got a little bit of hilly
Yeah.
action relief as well, which is nice.
Yes, they burned a couple years ago, so they look a little blacker than that right now.
Yeah,
But
okay.
they are coming back to life. So
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And there, your history there, Portuguese king and probably a bit of the
yeah,
Moorish history there, as is the case in much of southern Portugal. Hence the names like Algarve and Almadina and so on, with the Arabic sounding names there. Incredible. And there it is again. So there you go. There it is. It's placed on the map right down in the south in the Algarve, and pretty much in the middle of the Algarve region of Portugal. Fantastic. So that's really put us on the map there, literally. Anything else you want to say about the town, the municipality, the region there, Peggy, before we move on to another question?
it's beautiful, beautiful beaches. We have 3 of the top 10 beaches in the world. Felicia has made the cut for 5 years as being in one of the top 10 beaches in the world. It's just gorgeous down here. Beaches are all different, and they're all unique. And every day you'll go to a different one and come home saying, "I just went to the most beautiful beach today."
Yes, this is something I've remarked upon here before on Good Morning Portugal or the Portugal Show. It's like, okay, this is it. This is the ultimate place in Portugal. And then tomorrow's another day, and you find another one, don't you? And then you find another one. So it's not just me that thinks that.
No, it's not. And we have 360 days of sun a year, so everybody's got solar panels, and it's gorgeous. You wake up every day, and I'm just in heaven. I mean, the beautiful sunshine.
Well,
temperatures in the 70s.
Yes, well, talking of that, should one worry that their home or flat gets very hot, making it difficult to sleep in the evening? So, yeah, this Marty P is referring to my first question to most people moving to Portugal. Do you want to spend your time cooling down or warming up? Now, Algarve is certainly somewhere where you have to spend your time cooling down. Anything you would add to that, in terms of construction, what to look out for if people are a little bit worried about being so hot at night they can't sleep?
Well, the older homes definitely have much better construction, and the walls are anywhere from 20 inches to 24 inches thick. And as long as we keep the awnings out on the sunny side, we don't turn our air conditioner on.
Okay.
I think this year, those really 2 hot weeks, those hot weeks were so very miserable. I think we had it on at night just to sleep. We have the single units in the bedrooms. We had it on just to sleep, like for a week. And otherwise, it was comfortable in the rest of the house. We just had awnings out to keep the sun off the glass doors. And the walls are so thick, it just stays cool. And in the winter, which this is supposed to be winter, but it's not, it's 70 degrees, but you keep the awnings rolled up, and you have the nice sunshine comes through the windows and warms up the rooms really nice during the day, so you don't need heat at night. We didn't turn our heat on one single time last year. We have a fireplace. We put that on for ambiance with my Prosecco. But
very nice, yes. Wow, so that's something you don't hear often from people, isn't it? It's like it's meant to be winter, but it's not. Such a good.
We don't have winter. We have spring, summer, spring, fall.
Oh, excellent! I think, sorry, pardon the pun, but people are warming to the Algarve who are tuned in tonight. They must be. So the little clue or insight I get there is that you get expert in shade management, don't you? So you need to. Don't you know how to manage the climate rather than rely on heating and cooling and so on so much? Right. So there are old natural ways of managing one's environment, aren't there, rather than resorting to technology?
Well, rather than resorting to electricity.
Yes, indeed. Yes, yeah.
Because electricity is quite expensive in Portugal. So, the even though it's cheaper than the United States, it's still pretty expensive when you're on a retirement budget.
Yeah.
But we don't use the air conditioning in any of the rooms except the bedroom at night occasionally. So.
Wow. Okay. Yes, and that takes a bit of getting used to, I think, doesn't it? Is like making sure the shutters are down or up at the right time of day. If it's not in if you haven't grown up with that, you have to kind of make yourself notes, don't you, or set alarms to do it, I think.
Yes. By shutters, you mean those?
Yeah, the rollers outside. Yeah, but you're using awnings, aren't you? I guess a different way of doing it.
We have the awnings that go out.
Yeah.
So it shades the.
Obviously, and you need to be able to keep the Prosecco cool as well. Debbie's in tonight as well. Hi, Carl. We did it. The caravan is hired above the floodline. Yippee, we'll sleep better now. That's news from a different part of Portugal, not dealing so much with intense sun there, but the prospect of flooding. And Debbie has raised her home above the floodline. Congratulations. I'll raise a glass of fizz to that. Safiro, well, it's because there's no health system from the government in America. Another thing that we could talk about tonight is I don't know your experience with the health system here and whether you prefer it, Peggy, as well. But night, Carl and Peggy from Kent in the UK. We get so many countdowns here. It's fantastic. 3 weeks and counting. We've got so many reasons to drink and raise a glass tonight. It's fantastic. Ken's put in a link to that British humour. Don't watch that yet. They save that as a little bit of fun after the show, if you will. Oh, Anne's here. Hi, Anne's in again tonight. Hello, everyone from Anne Julian. Hello. The guy, Garvo, is with you tonight. What would be your best advice to Americans who are thinking about coming here? And what are your top tips to adjust to life here, please, Peggy? That's an extension, isn't it, of the kind of the service culture question? Because
how much time do you have?
Well, we have actually over half an hour, which I think might do it. But Peggy, you made it sound so easy. I got my residency. Tell us more about that. Was it that easy?
Well, that part was pretty easy. Yes, my husband was a little bit of a troublemaker when he came because he didn't get his FBI background check translated by the U.S. Portuguese embassy before he came, and Seth had a little bit of problems because it wasn't translated, so we had to get it translated.
Okay.
Them because they've never seen English before, you know.
No.
You had 2 whole sentences on it. He's not a criminal, okay?
Is that what he said? He is not a criminal. That works.
I don't know about them. Sometimes they don't have any problems reading English when you show them the bank financial pages, you know? That can be Greek to me, but they don't have any troubles with that.
Interesting.
You know the words, balance and deposit.
Okay, but that's a tip then, isn't it? Make sure your FBI statement reference is translated into Portuguese.
Only if you're coming over here on the tails of your loving wife or somebody else as a family reunification. If you're getting your visa from the U.S. Embassy to begin with, and you're sending all your paperwork to them to get your D7, and you get that in your passport, and you take that and you come over here. And as soon as you get here, you need to contact Seth. Because sometimes it can take 3 months to 4 months to get an appointment. Yeah. And you're only supposed to be here 120 days. And that's 120 days from the time the nice man at the airport goes ching on your passport.
Okay. And so that was your process then. You came on a D7 and then your husband joined you as a reunification case.
Correct.
Great. Okay. So those are methods that people should be aware of as well. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. That's all I had to say.
Oh, okay. All right.
About buy it.
Yes, I love that phrase from Dear Forest. He is a much quoted person in our household here. So fairly straightforward then for you, the D7, and hubby a little bit more problematic by the sound of it, but nothing too terrible.
Only the physical moving part. We thought we had checked all the boxes and found a great moving company, and I got in the the shipping container and checked for holes before we loaded. We had a great crew. They had everything pulled out of and put it all in by weight and height. And they put up, retainer walls every couple rows and did a fantastic job. And our goods arrived and everything was soaking wet.
No.
Had been soaking wet for a while. It had been sitting in water, and everything was ruined, and they were missing 43 of 400 boxes. And the insurance company, we had $10,000 worth of insurance, and there's so many loopholes and clauses. They offered us $600.
No.
$10,000 policy. So, and the moving company, they don't want to take any responsibility because they say, well, that's what your insurance is for, and you should have taken out more insurance. But I suggest everybody take out 10 to 20% more than they think they will need, because it's more difficult to replace or repair or have furniture refinished once you're over here. And read your insurance policy. Make sure you know what they're responsible for. Talk to your moving company in the States. Might be the very best people there are loading that shipping container. But when they let go of it at the port, you have the people who are loading it on the ship, and they pick it up like it's one of those swings at the carnival. Swing it around a little bit, dunk it in the ocean a couple times, put it on somewhere on the ship.
Do you think that's what happened then? It got dunked, it got dropped in the water?
I know it got done in Lisbon because we had duty-free import for moving our residency. So the customs and immigration declined to open the shipping container. Mm-hmm. And I had sent the Portuguese movers an email saying, don't open the shipping container. If immigration doesn't open it, don't open it.
Yeah.
They wanted to put it in little tiny vans to bring it down from Lisbon. I mean, how many vans would it take to bring a 40-foot shipping container's worth of goods down here? A lot. Sure. A lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they charge you extra for that. I said, it's necessary. I sent them a Google map that drawn on it, their route, all the way from the Autobahn to our house was perfectly clear. Perfectly clear. We're in sort of the edge of a new subdivision, so the roads are wide. They didn't have to come through town. And you could put 3 trucks across. We're in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I said, leave it in the shipping container, bring it down on a flatbed. Don't take it out of the shipping container. They took it out of the shipping container. Oh. I don't know what they did with it. I'm still pretty sure they dunked it, used it as an anchor, whatever they did. It got soaking wet there.
Because what a shame. And did you have to leave it at that? Did you have to take $600?
Well, yes, we did. That's all they would give us. And the moving company said, well, they're not responsible. It was done after they let it go to the subcontractors. But I can't sue the subcontractor. I can't sue the Portuguese movers because I don't have a contract with them.
Of course.
Contract.
You wouldn't be able to track them down very easily either, would you?
Right. And I know who it was. It was global. It was global relocators.
Okay.
And the crew, even that unloaded it, said they had never, ever seen anything like it. And they loaded it into the back of a semi-truck.
Yeah.
And the truck driver refused to let them load it until they put several layers of cardboard on the floor of his truck because everything was soaking wet.
Good heavens. What a shock for you then to receive your beloved items the big day comes, it's come down on a lorry, and there it is, completely ruined.
Yes, it was heartbreaking because we had some furniture from 4 generations back.
Yeah,
And so it was quite heartbreaking, but
of course.
we found a great wood refinisher who just made it look new. So
Brilliant.
I'm just happy as a lark. It's just beautiful now. It really is. And very happy about that. But
What a journey.
insure for much more
Okay.
than you think it's worth. And because you may have to replace or repair it, the moving company is going to do a very vague inventory: kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. You need to have a detailed inventory, or the insurance company will say, no, we're not giving you anything for those 43 boxes you're missing because you can't tell us what was in them.
Dear.
Well, I know what I'm missing. I can give you a list. I know what I'm missing.
Of course.
But that wasn't good enough. So they wanted to know what was in each box. So keep your own personal inventory for the insurance company. Also ask your main mover who the subcontractors are and who's responsible if they screw up.
Good advice here. Good advice here from Peggy. She is on the forum, an active member of the forum over at expatsportugal.com. And if you need a reminder on that, I suspect Peggy will be able to help you. And obviously, when it comes to Christmas, you send her a case of Prosecco for her trouble. It's the right thing to do, everybody. Jerry's here, our friend and colleague Jerry. Hi, Carl. Wow, 2 ambassadors in 6 days. First the UK ambassador, and now the much more important one. The US. Nice one, Jerry. Sorry to hear your story, Peggy. Hope your experience is the exception, not the rule. That is
the exception too.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that is that's awful. And then the upside there, that you managed to find somebody who could restore your furniture.
Yes.
The 4 generations in the family, and it's been restored as good as new.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the thing is, you need to get to know your Portuguese neighbors. You need to get to know the people that are working at your house, your electricians and plumbers, because they're going to know the people who can do that sort of stuff that you can't find. So
maybe that is the actual ambassador ringing up now.
It's probably a scam.
Or the insurance company. It might be somebody from the ship or say, oh, yes, maybe we should talk about this again. Change your view of us. Oh, amazing. So that's a top tip. This is what Gary was asking. What are your top tips to adjust to life here, please, Peggy? Part of that is getting to know people. What else?
People, get to know your Portuguese neighbors. Try hard to say at least a few words in Portuguese, even if you totally muck it up like my husband does. Just try. Just try and say, I'm sorry, I'm learning, and then they'll help you. But if you just walk up to somebody and start speaking English without asking them, falas inglês?
Yeah.
Don't ask them, then they're not likely to speak to you in English, especially salespeople. But what do I miss most from the States?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it?
My family.
Yeah, of course. There's a thing for expats, isn't it? And then with this year, the way it's been, they couldn't come and visit either, so doubly difficult.
No, my daughter's getting married December 11th, so I'm missing that. But que sera, sera. We'll do it again.
Yes, that's brilliant. So what, you'll have a second wedding over here, maybe, or you'll go and do it?
Maybe. We'll have a big reception.
Yeah, fantastic. Anything else? There's a question from Ree there in Florida. Anything else you miss?
Red cocktail sauce. They use Thousand Island dressing over here and call it cocktail sauce, but it's not cocktail sauce. Just buy you a big old horseradish root, grate it up into some ketchup, and you got it.
Oh, innovation there. So I mean, there are some things that it's very difficult to deal with, and that's family, obviously, as we've seen there, noted there when it comes to the big occasions. But then nothing too serious because your cocktail sauce, you found a way to hack it. Is that your own recipe, or did you get that off the internet?
Well, my husband told me that's all it's made of is ketchup and horseradish. So I found a horseradish root because you can't find grated horseradish in this country. It doesn't exist. You
Right.
have to find the root and grate it up yourself, but
Yeah.
that's okay. So I would say get to know people, get to know your surroundings, go see things for goodness sakes. Get to see things in your own neighborhood. See Portugal. We came over 4 or 5 times before we decided where to live. You just have to, there's a right place for you. It's just waiting for you to find it. And, you know, some people love the mountains, some people love the sun like me, and some people love the middle part and or to be on the beachfront. And it's, you just have to take your time and get around and see, because you'll find the place that's right for you.
That's
And
great.
you're gonna have to look at a lot of houses
Yeah.
before you find one that says, I'm it.
Pick me, pick me. Yes, absolutely. Great advice. If it's possible, yeah, tour and experience the country, and then allow this your ultimate place, your forever place, to wind its way to you, yeah, through the ether.
That's right.
And you'll have a lovely time doing it. I mean, that's the thing, you know, the journey here, the adventure before finding your final place is a good one, isn't it?
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Well said. Well said. Excellent. A comment from Oregon, QPR. Hello again. Here in Oregon, it may get built quicker, but the quality is poor. 5 developments around us had lawsuits for construction defects. We got stuck with a 20K assessment for community-wide repairs. Okay, so speed isn't everything, is it?
Stuck with the main mover of my Rainier. The movers, I think, are based out of Oregon, either Oregon or Washington.
Right, okay.
Keep that name in mind.
Yes, not doing well in our estimations tonight. From what I've seen, American houses usually would. Sorry to say it, but that contributes a lot to deforestation. I guess it would, Safira. We'll be heading up to Porto to your way in just a moment. Thanks for the good info from Marty P to you, Peggy. It's good to see you so happy. It is lovely, isn't it? Hi, Peggy. We have a house in Olhos d'Água and we love going to Silva Champera. And you're right, we're very lucky. We have the best beaches in Portugal. Isn't that lovely, Alex?
Yeah. We are all so lucky to be here in Portugal with the way things are in so many other countries. They're just so horrible. And our country, our new country, Portugal, we have a socialist president, but we have a democratic prime minister, and doggone it, they work together. Isn't that a novel idea?
I think you might be making quite a grand political statement there, Peggy.
They work together for the best of the people, and the people don't like it. They fuss and fume, but they put their daggone masks on. I don't know if you have a beeper button or not, but they put their masks on, they social distance, and they do what they're told.
Yeah.
And then they do these lockdowns just for the people that won't do what they're told. But they keep control of the situation. They keep their finger on the pulse of what's going on in the country, and they're keeping our numbers low, and we have to applaud the government for that. I really, really do, because I don't think I'd be alive if I was in the United States. Wow,
that's quite something to say. Should we raise a glass to them on that basis? Here's to that, Prosecco.
Government and working together, and should all the other countries try it? They might like it.
What, like cooperation and getting the job done, that sort of thing? Well, it's a novel idea.
You know, you're elected by the people. Let's do something for the people. Let's take care of the people. They don't know what they want. They're too stupid. So, tell them what they need. Tell them what's going to make it better.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, we've been talking about this on the morning show about the lockdown measures and the soft state of emergency, which is effectively like another lockdown. But there's a lot of room in it for Portuguese people to apply their common sense, is what I'm realizing. And I think that exists here, doesn't it? The common sense you're talking about in politics is also in the people. So, you know, there are a lot of exceptions to the measures, and I think people are generally speaking responding to that really well. And it's almost like the government and the people have an understanding along those lines. It's like, we're not going to be super draconian. We're going to trust you, as well as, you know, offer some guidance here. We're also going to trust you. And I think that goes a long way.
Also, the people here seem to genuinely care for each other.
Yes, yes, yes.
In America, people have lost that. They don't care for their neighbor. They don't care to wear a mask because they say, I have a right. Well, you don't have a right. You can't drive 200 miles an hour on the road. You have to wear your seatbelt. You can't shoot people with automatic weapons. And put on the friggin' mask.
Here we go. Look, Peggy is awoke from Josephine. You've been recognized there, Peggy. And this is always fascinating because Safiro is a Portuguese person. Portuguese man, and he's going to give us an introduction to Portuguese politics one evening. And when you really understand the politics as a Portuguese person, I guess you get a slightly different view, because you and I, Peggy, we have a bit of a honeymoon view of politics here, don't we? And it's better than where we came from as well, which really helps.
Oh dear God, it couldn't have got worse.
So that's debatable, them working together. But for us, for the time being, Safira, we're gonna take it as we see it and raise a glass to it. And sorry, it's not like that for you as a native Portuguese person. I completely understand that. Ovos Molosh are being mentioned now. I'm not sure what the connection is there, but I'm sure Safira will tell us. And Ree saying, "Wow, that's crazy, Peggy. So sorry that happened about your shipping incident there." It's a bit of a message, I suppose, to some of the minimalists, isn't it? It will validate the people who just say, okay, I'm just bringing a suitcase and I'll buy everything new when I get there. Because we were talking to Maria the other night on the Expat chat, which is what this is, everybody, if you just tuned in with Peggy from the Algarve here. Prosecco Peggy, or Lockdown Littrell, as she's also known in the Expats Portugal community. And Maria was saying she's a maximalist. And like you, I mean, not just one shipping container, but I think she's brought several over, with things that she really loves and doesn't want to let go of and so on. So, yeah, the minimalist will be validated, I think, by your story tonight. What do you do if you've got to bring heirlooms over? You got to do it, haven't you?
You can't get rid of them. You just have to. And just call me. I know somebody that can fix it.
Yes. Hi all, boa noite from Jose Manuel da Costa Diogo. Full name, full formal title there, which is fantastic. Oregon thought that was Global Relocators. I'm actually very well aware that they're not here to defend themselves, and the platform is open if they do ever want to come and talk about what went on and make good with Peggy. It's open to you. You have a right to reply, folks.
The more zeros, the better.
What's that?
The more zeros, the better, if they're going to make it better.
Add a couple of zeros on that paltry offer, and we're back in business. Good advice, Peggy. Thanks for sharing your experience from.
I got lots of advice about packing and moving.
Oh, okay, great. Looking forward to speaking to you soon, Steve. It's still 85 here in Florida, so enjoy your 70-degree weather.
I do have a question for you, Ree. Don't you have humidity? We don't have humidity.
No, okay, it's more of a northern Portugal thing, is.
Yeah, we don't have humidity, and we had beautiful breeze off the ocean, and the humidity is always very low, very, very low.
Yeah.
It's very dry down here.
Yep. Okay.
It moved to Florida.
Right. You tell him, Peggy, is the affirmation and encouragement
for the zeros.
Yes, and Peter saying it's great to have your opinion, Safira. It really is. I mean, we love Safira being part of our community here.
Absolutely.
I'm very glad. We are essentially an expats community, but several Portuguese people check in and tune in with us as well, which is I take that as a good sign. So a healthy dose of realism and cynicism to go with our honeymoon positivity that we have for Portugal, me and Becky.
Well, I challenged Safira to go spend a month in the United States with the craziness we got going on now over there. They're going to have to drag the ex-president out by his heels to get him out of the White House.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a big mess.
Yes, it is. Whichever way you look at it, you know, whichever side of the political divide you're on there, it's still a mess, isn't it? 100,000 cases just on Sunday here in the States, Peggy. It's crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
1 million cases in the past week.
Yeah.
Or 10 days, week or 10 days, whatever measurement they had. 1 million new cases.
Extraordinary. Peggy, how's the public transport system in Silvesh? Can I hold that question for just a moment? Because I do want to sing the praises, thanks, Peggy, of best of the world, the 8 top destinations for world travel in 2021. And we mentioned this obviously because you're seeing the azulejos in front of your very eyes there. I don't know if you can at this point recognize the city, but this is from the article Best of the World, 8 Unmissable Cultural Experiences for 2021 and beyond. This is definitely going on our Portugal 100. Thank you for your inclusions on that, Peggy. We're already past 50 over on that list of 100 things to visit, experience, and do.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Picture you just went by so fast.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just hold that there for a moment.
I mean, you can just stand there and stare at that, and it's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful.
Isn't that wonderful? And you're wondering which of those cherubs is going to pee on you as you walk past. Cheeky little rascals. Porto, Portugal, old world wine in a bold new setting. This, according to nationalgeographic.co.uk. The introduction of cheap flight routes has led to Porto soaring in the city break rankings in recent years. Its dramatic hilly layout lends itself to surprising discoveries. Landscaped lookout points are snuck into the gaps between precipitous winding streets, and down on the banks of the Douro River, the Ribeira neighborhood hints at the city's rich age of discovery heritage. Elsewhere, Palacio de Bolsa is about as glamorous as a Chamber of Commerce building gets. Nearby, the Casa do Infante celebrates the man who made this wealth possible. A titan of Portuguese exploration, Henry the Navigator, was supposedly born here. And the display inside tells how 15th century adventures led to Portugal carving out lucrative chunks of Asia, Africa, and South America. So there you go, number 1 in that list. I will put that link for you in the comments as well. Have you been to Porto, Peggy?
Oh, yes, several times. Yes.
Do you like it?
Well, we did, yes. There's a wonderful port wine bar down on the always me linked up to the alcohol. A lovely little port wine bar down by the river. It's great. Yes.
So which is your favorite? Do you like the red, the ruby, or the white port?
I like the white.
Oh yeah, me too. And do you drink the Porto Tonico, the white port and tonic?
No, I just drink the port. Why are you going to dilute it, Carl? Why are you adulterating your port?
I'm so sorry. Okay. This is possibly your gift in compensation. Ovosh Molosh. That's what Safara was hinting at. Wish me luck. I may delve into politics here. Yeah, Laura, who was the first to open up these expat chats with me, who lives in the Castelo Branco region. A great chat with Laura, central Portugal. And we're going all over the country, and also a bit sexist so far. I've only spoken to ladies on this call. So I do need some gender balance in these interviews. 4 women so far.
Was here. Where'd he go?
So yeah, anyone who wants to balance that out from a male perspective as an expat in Portugal, let me know. But Laura, yeah, you wrote to the president today, I saw. Very interesting. And pour me another drink. I don't know if that's connected with the politics there. So this question then of public transport, Peggy, in Silvesh, how is it?
Well, public transport is public transport. It's buses. It's not like the big cities where they have the trams and the tuk-tuks and all the other things like that. It's buses. But they go all over. They go all the way out into the countryside, and you'll see bus stops out and God knows where. And you think, well, who's coming to this bus stop? There's nobody miles around. How are they going to get here? But
yes. I've never thought of that. You've got to catch a bus to get to that bus stop.
To get to the bus station. But anyway, I don't know. But buses is all we have down here. We're not a big city, so we don't have tuk-tuks and What do you?
Whatever else. So how'd you get to the nearest train station, mainline train station? How far is it?
We do have a train. We have a north-south train and we have an east-west train.
Yeah.
So there's the one train that goes east and west. It goes from west of Portimao, about 2 stops, and then it goes to Faro, and where you can get off and take a bus to the airport. Because it doesn't go to the airport, but you can take a bus to the airport.
Okay.
And the trains on the outside, they look like you're in New York City, but the inside is clean and well taken care of, and everybody's always been very nice. I used to take the train every single day to Portimao for my Portuguese lessons and had a lovely time. They're very inexpensive. If you're going north and south now, they have dropped the cost. I think you talked about this one day, Carl.
Yes,
the price of the train.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, you can't, the tolls and the gas, you can't get north and south for the cost of the train ticket. And on the train, you've got a bar.
Oh, yes. You made sure of that. They are these alpha pendular trains that go at tremendous speeds. That
very fast.
Yeah, and they're clean inside and out. They're not like the graffiti trains that I think you were referring to. I love seeing them. I'm more excited than my children when I see those trains rocketing past.
Trains.
Incredible.
All the seats have plugs for your computer. They all have Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
and it's just very nice.
Yes,
traveling by train in Portugal is very nice.
So there you go, Josephine. Hope that helps. And obviously, Faro, an international airport as well, so you can get pretty much anywhere in the world with a change here or there. Oregon says only my Wisden Cricketers Almanac and football yearbooks are coming with me when I move to Braga.
I love Braga. Oh, call me when you're there. I'll come visit. I'll show you around.
Tell us about Braga. What did you like in Braga?
Oh, we almost moved to Braga. It's a beautiful town to walk around in. Lovely, lovely architecture. I love the architecture in Portugal. Mm-hmm. They were always neutral in all the wars. So their beautiful architecture did not get bombed or ruined, except during the big earthquake in the 1500s. But so you have all this new stuff from the 1600s.
Yes.
But they have gorgeous architecture, and in Braga, a beautiful gate, beautiful church, and up on the hills there's Pope John Paul's cathedral is up on the hill, and there's just it's beautiful up there. And we stayed there in February, trying to decide if it would be nice for my poor arthritic hands. And it wasn't, but
very different weather. I mean, it would be damp and colder for you, wouldn't it? And it sounds like you've made the right choice for you.
Yes, it is damp and cold for short periods of time, but when you're old, it makes a big difference.
Okay. OMG, the humidity in Florida, 90% humidity.
That's why we're not in Florida.
Yes, and I was going to say that the humidity in my bedroom registered 90% the other day, but that sounds like a boast, doesn't it? I'm actually referring to it was 90% humidity because that's where we have the dehumidifier. I realize how that sounds. If Americans need help dragging it out of the office, I can lend a hand. I think Sapphiro is offering now to do some shipping based out of Porto.
You are welcome to help. Let me tell you.
Sorry, go on. Say again.
I said it's going to take more than one of us.
Absolutely, yeah. Sapphiro, I think.
KFC.
Okay. A while back, Carl, you had alluded to death and dying in Portugal, that it was odd or had a weird element to it. What about it is odd? Well, I guess, yeah, it's odd anyway, wherever you are. But it comes to us all. I think probably what I was getting to, and good evening to you, Charles, was how it's different here. The process is fast. I think it's very different in compared to where I'm from. And we will do, I mean, it's a really difficult subject, isn't it? Obviously, us humans don't like talking about it too much, but we will, as part of our responsibility, I think, as Expats Portugal and how we help expats, you need to know about these things. So we might not do an all singing, all dancing death special, but which would be a little bit inappropriate. But I think the resources need to be there. And there are people in our community who have sadly faced such difficulties with loved ones, and we're here to help you, and we'll do our best to. So Charles, stand by for more resources about that inevitability, I guess we could call it. The picture we showed, the tiles that we were displaying that you wanted me to show for a little bit longer, I think it was someone to a train station, wasn't it, in Porto? Safira will definitely tell us that. No, he is telling us that already. It isn't. It's probably a church located in Santa Rita.
I'm pretty sure it's a train station.
Is awesome, isn't it?
One vote for the train station.
Oh, okay. She's taking on the local. Amazing. Okay, here we go. The contention begins here. Suggestions to try at Matheus Rosé. We have done that.
Well, yeah, we were 18.
Have you not tried it since you were 18, Peggy?
No, my taste buds grew up.
Oh, seriously, Peggy, that's what I thought. And I gave it another go. Because I had a similar, I suppose a snobby response to Matheus Rosé, because in England it's a bit of a standing joke. It has to be said, that because it was the sort of when English people started drinking wine in the 1970s. Obviously, they drank it before that, but before the wave of European wine started in 1970, they had Blue Nun from Germany. Valpolicella, I think, or Chianti in straw-covered bottles from Italy, and Matheus Rosé, because the marketing is amazing for Matheus Rosé. Were you going to say we make lamps out of the bottles?
Or you put a candle in it and let the lights drip down.
Right, you're absolutely right. And I revisited Matheus Rosé, because after a professional wine tasting in Coimbra, the suggestion from our lovely guide was every wine in Portugal has its context and moment. And Matheus Rosé is a poolside, well chilled by the poolside. Give it another go, Peggy. Go on.
I do have a pool, so I'll give it a go.
Next summer. Indeed. Thank you, Safiro from Marty P. A thumbs down. I don't know if that's about Matheus Rosé. It might be, but I challenge you all to rethink Matheus Rosé. It is an incredible wine drunk by Jimi Hendrix, Her Majesty the Queen, and Saddam Hussein, would you believe? And one or two popes as well. Yes, a little note to the kind sir, which I may be deluded in thinking it will be received, even more deluded to think the letter I will post will be read, but it's a start. With this president here in Portugal, you may well get a reply. You might even get a visit and a selfie from our man, I think.
I've emailed him.
Have you met him?
Yes, no, I didn't meet him, but I've emailed him and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Travel. What fizzy wine?
You've been distracted by fizzy wine, Peggy. You were talking about meeting the president.
Wine down the drain. It's bad. It's gone bad. Don't drink that.
I'm going to take that so you don't get distracted again by the word wine on the screen. But what happened with you and the president? It's all lies.
Never mind. No, but I did get a response.
All right. Oh, did you?
But I did email. I've emailed, yes.
Okay, the president or the prime minister?
Both.
Really? And you've had a sort of official response?
Well, I emailed the president, and then I got a response from his office. And I don't think it was him. I think it was probably some secretary of some sort. But they referred me to the prime minister. So then I emailed the prime minister.
Wow. Okay. And do you feel like you've been listened to and responded to appropriately?
Eventually.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty good.
With the local camera than I did with the president.
But you can now say you have been in touch with the prime minister and the president when you go into the camera, which might change things.
Well, I don't go to the camera. I emailed them.
Of course. Yeah, it's best at the moment.
Yes, I don't go places. They tell me to stay home. I stay home.
Yep. Fair enough. Okay. The question was, Peggy, and I'm aware that we will conclude soon because it's only meant to be an hour's chat here. But I'm so enjoying talking with you. David, If you can't get Prosecco, which equivalent in Portugal do you buy? She doesn't. Okay, so she doesn't go there. All right. Well, I'm going to take that on as a personal mission, Prosecco Peggy. I mean, it doesn't mean possibly changing your name.
Prosecco is my fizzy wine. And if I don't have Prosecco, I have a nice red. And you can get a nice red from Algarve. I do drink white. I love sangria when it's hot in the summer. But if it's not Prosecco and it's fizzy, it's probably a green wine. Green wine is fizzy.
Your Vinho Verde, yeah.
Yeah, the Vino Verdes are fizzy, but
okay. I think you've got your answer there, David. Debbie. I would bet you would still make the death video, Chirico. I'll do my best, Peter. Very kind of you to say so. Gary, Charles, I think they plant you quicker. Yeah, it's a fast process. That is part of what happens here. Yeah. Look, Philomena's in with us tonight. Fantastic. It's the Capella de Chalmas, the Souls Chapel, I guess, All Souls Chapel in Porto. Thank you so much for your quick response there, Philomena. Is Portugal, this is a question coming in from YouTube. We are being watched live on YouTube and on Facebook. Is Portugal allowing travelers from the UK at this time? I believe so, under certain conditions. Absolutely. It's the Americans who are having a harder time of it at the moment.
All Americans in the whole European Union. So
okay, so no Schengen access for Americans at the moment. Hopefully that will change soon. We have so many fingers crossed for that happening in our community here. Safari, picture shows a street and San Bento train station doesn't have painted tiles on the outside of the building. However, there's plenty of churches nearby that do have outside painted tiles. Sorry, Becky.
Well, Safari, maybe you can answer me this. There's one of the train stations that's on the inside. Is that in Lisboa? All of the tiles.
Oh, sure. Yes, it's certainly in Lisbon. There are beautifully tiled stations for sure. Santa Apollonia being one of them. Beautiful. It's like something from a Hitchcock movie. It's fantastic. Laura says, if I get a selfie with him, then I will hold up a bottle of Matches Rosé. Fantastic. Oh, here's a great question for you. Is the Christmas tree up yet in the Littrell household?
Well, it's chomping at the bit, but my husband says only on Thanksgiving Day can we put up Christmas decorations. So,
and will you be listening to that advice?
Bit of a stick in the mud.
And you're going to go with it?
Am I going to go with it? Yeah. Well, I would like to give the house a good cleaning before we start putting up Christmas decorations, because I intend to leave them up for a while. So to make me.
All right, and I think that's a good shout. We had that this morning. The Americans are sort of pacing themselves with festivities, and yes, the Christmas decks don't go up until the Thanksgiving is out of the way. Forgive me, Peggy. When is Thanksgiving?
Always the fourth Thursday in November.
Excellent. So okay. Well, we must make a bit of a fuss about that when the time comes on the morning show, and probably the evening as well. And I might have to get a turkey in. Peru, of course, here in Portugal. We're chipping away at you and your Prosecco habit here, Peggy. Luís Pato, a winemaker near me, they make some lovely Portuguese sparkling wines from the Maria Gomes grape. So just so you know, yes, but this continues. The Azulejo mystery continues. Yes, but São Bento station is most known outside Portugal. Yes, absolutely right. So the Porto station has it. Lol, says Ree. My hubby always says not until after Thanksgiving dinner. I told him to forget it this year. It's going up tomorrow.
Well, so many people are putting it up because it's a bad time. It's really bad time, and you want to spend what you have with your family, and some of us need that pick me up and don't have the access to Prosecco, so I guess you gotta pick up Christmas decorations.
There you go. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to the pictures of your Christmas decorations. Do you have a train going around your tree like one of our communities? She sent us a video the other day of a steam train, and I understand it is an American tradition. This train with 3 carabooses or something going around the tree. Have you got that?
We had a train set, but it was one of the things that didn't make the cut.
Oh, okay. So it would have only got soggy anyway if it had. I think you can import them directly. Speak to Oh my goodness. Valerie at Spencer Beck's about that.
Right.
Philip says this beautiful tales Peggy is mentioning is Salmento train station in Porto, isn't it, Peggy? I think we've got there in the end, yeah. And good stuff tonight, you two. Bonne nuit from Steve. Haha from how wonderful. Yes, let's do a turkey off and celebrate something positive about America. Thanksgiving is wonderful. I'm going to look deeper into that this year. It's not something I know a great deal about, but I think I owe it to our wonderful American friends here. Oh, how wonderful. Yes, let's do a turkey off, says Laura. So let's go for that this year. Peggy, I think we both need to go get our beauty sleep now, don't we? So can we have a final, I think it's safe to say you love Portugal and you would recommend it.
Portugal, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. It's, it's people think it's so far from America, but it's not, because it takes you forever to get anywhere these days in America. So, if there were not COVID, we would have seen our friends and family. So people are more likely to come see us here than they are in Northern Kentucky. Let me tell you that.
That's a thing, isn't it? Yeah, of course. So from Gemini there, as you can see, it's lovely listening to Peggy. I would agree. Great chat tonight. Thanks, Peggy from Ree. Boa noite a todos. Durmam bem. Stay well. Fica bem as well. And Safiro, cheers, all good night. Final word to you then, Peggy. If someone's thinking about it, particularly your fellow Americans, what would be your advice to them?
I would advise them to get on the Expats Portugal forum and read up on some of the things that are discussed there, some of the questions, some of the issues. And if it looks like something they want to do, come visit. There
we go. Peggy, thank you so much. Final glass raising to you. Thank you very much. I've got me slightly fizzy Alvarino. Here's to you, Prosecco Peggy. Lockdown Littrell. Thank you so much for being my expat check guest tonight.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate you having me.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.